Welcome to the vicious world of combat racing. In a moment, you'll watch Jak as he earns incredible lap and score totals in time trial, freeze rally, turbo dash, death race, and rush hour events. But before that, here are some tips to help you survive and thrive. Before you start your engines, remember a couple of cunning plans. Use turbos and jump jets on the straight line jumps for extended hang time. And during turbo dash, use the rear weapons you get for 100% powered turbo meters to deflect attacks from behind. When you're racing, it is advisable to scrape or slide slam into the many walls, fences, and other obstacles to the left and right of you. It's much faster than slowing down to avoid wall collisions. Slow down during freeze rally events to collide with the snow-filled time freezers rather than speeding past them with turbos. Also, make sure you snag higher time freezers on your first lap to ensure you don't miss them on the second. Remember, grab them all for a 10-second bonus to your time. Waterworks Circuit is the hardest course in this season's racing competitions. There are very few straights, and you'll need to learn every corner. But all is not lost. Stay back during circuit races and use tracking missiles to good effect as they follow enemies around corners. The death race is more than simply blasting clones. You must employ upgraded weapons once both dark ecometers are full. Also, use larger vehicles with modified body parts to defeat drones more easily when you drive faster than them and ram them for points. Larger vehicles with modified front and rear fenders are the best choice, such as the exceptional Anvil RTX. The armor is especially useful on long runs and after hitting red drones. For shorter courses, try faster vehicles to reach better lap bonuses. Don't forget to combo. Yes, you can turbo constantly, but the real professional racer makes sure to let off the gas, slide, and then engage turbos on every corner. A technique known as drift turboing. This helps you keep your racing line on every turn. Here's some pointers for surviving a circuit race. Remain in second place to avoid peacemaker missiles that aim for the person in first. Even braking at the last second to fall back to second is a great tactic if you hear an incoming missile. Take the lead halfway through the last lap of most courses for the best chance of winning. Run over all yellow eco pickups when in first place so enemies behind you can't collect them. And don't forget to use smoke or oil at jumps. Strap yourself into the Havoc V12, a monstrous motor vehicle with maxed out scores except for turbo power. But that's not a problem, as you can collect more boosts throughout the courses. The Havoc for circuit races, time trials, and all combat professionals. Excellent boost there for Jak. He's using the track boundary to bounce off. A good tight left turn, then constant turboing down this straight. Another quick turn, and he's grabbing turbo refills to keep that speed up. Cutting it close on the left wall through this lava chamber. great controlled corner. Whoa, he's cutting it fine there, getting as close to the lava pool as possible, then lining up for more turbo power. After the long left turn, he's brought the back end into contact with the turbo, then keeps it out of the water. He's into the rock face road now, staying in the middle and easing off the turbo to keep from bouncing out of control. He's grabbing every turbo he can. Ooh, that's a close call with the right wall. He's taking the right route. Now he's heading into the long left turn. What a power slide. Then it's a drop and a well-controlled 180 turn, then back through turbos to the finish. Around 2 minutes 35 seconds is a top time to beat. Highlights include slowing for this 5-second time freezer. Jak's taking the left side of the long straight for the 10-second freezer here. He stays in the middle of this chamber to catch multiple freezers. He's going for the 5-second freezer here, just after the lava lake, then lining up for the 10. At the Temple Waterway, he keeps right for that 10-second freezer. Once in the rough terrain, Jak slows to make sure this 10-second freezer is grabbed. He's staying right at the road split to take the 5-second freezer. And once the 180 turn was made, he stays in the middle of the tunnel, skidding left to take this final 10-second freezer. That's an incredible lap time of only 4.14 seconds. He's off like a shot, picking up turbos, but keeping it in the middle of this rocky road. He's taking the right route at the junction. It's easier to keep a racing line down here. Looks like he's using power slides and pickups to keep that speed up. Is he? Yes, he's taken the low bend for speed, keeps left through the grass. Man, there's a nasty bit of rocky ground, and he's flying over that bridge. He's easing off the turbo for this corner, then back on with full force. Got to hit every pickup to keep that speed. There's bumpy ground at every turn, so he's keeping in the middle and grabbing more turbos. Whoa! Ouch! He recovered from that wall slam well, using the ricochet to steady himself into the next straight. That's great driving. Into the town now, he's not slowing down, staying on the inside left of the turns. And yes, he scraped past the buildings and into the tunnel. That zigzag seems the quickest path through here. And what a recovery around this difficult corner. Boosting out of the slide to recover and tagging that right wall to straighten up. Superb. Onto the final tunnel. And what a lap. 2:12.65. Amazing. Right from the start, Jak showed amazing abilities. He snagged both 2-second freezers, then took the right road for the 5 freezer in the tunnel. It was easy going to the long left bend, where he took the left turn, wrestled control after an almost disastrous 5 freezer grab, and managed to boost with the 2 on the bridge. It was less hectic in the rocky path, but he made sure to tag both these 2-second freezers here. Once on the town outskirts, he used the turbo sparing lane to line up for the next freezer, such as this 5-second one he made sure not to miss. He zigged and zagged through this tunnel construction and back again for the most freezers possible, and didn't forget this cunningly positioned 10-seconder. He sped over the line in a frozen lap record of 1:01.74. Can you do better? The light turns green, and he's away. He's staying on the inside of the turn. And would you look at that? Using the tunnel wall to straighten his trajectory. He's remaining in the middle and boosting. He's out onto the wooden roadway, keeping a great racing line through these twists. Nice drop down on the turbos there, setting up for the quicker low left roadway. He skims the left grassy area and shoots over the bridge like lightning. He's now in the wider tree-lined area, controlling those boost turns. Oh, great left turn into the shortcut there, setting up for a great finish time of 1:21.11 seconds. Amazing work. Highlights from the Freeze Rally Run include Jak lining up for this important 5-second freezer, smashing both 2-second freezers here, and ensuring a wider left turn than normal to snag this 5-second freezer and the other shortly after. He took the upper path on the left bend, as there's a 10-second freezer up here. Merging into the tree-lined area, he snags a 5-second freezer and doesn't forget another at this bend. After an easy 10-second freezer, he misses the shortcut and goes for this 5-second freezer instead, ensuring a positively minuscule final lap time of 21.07 seconds. Spectacular. Jak's off and takes the first corner with amazing judgment. That slide and bounce off the rocks on the right was incredible. He's keeping a tight racing line through this chicane of buildings, slowing for the corner, then boosting, then up the curved bend. A bit wide on that turn here, but a good recovery. Using the wall to steady himself is a great plan. Through the tunnel now. And this is a tricky downhill left. Oh, nice racing line, Jak. Onto the grass. A bump here to keep the speed up. And onto the lava bridge. He's over the gap, staying slightly left of center, and using the boost occasionally on these tricky turns. Into the jungle. That's a great bounce onto the rock wall, setting up well for the temple excursion. Did you see how he's using the walls to steady himself in such a fast vehicle? Mind the gap, Jak, and he's down. Into the small temple area and keeping right, skimming that wall. And what a beautiful boost around this tight corner. An airborne shot over the finish line in a time of 1:44.68. Amazing. The Freeze Rally highlight reel shows Jak lining up for 2 freezers at the first turn. During the chicane, he swings out right, taking another 2-seconder. As the long left bend descends, he makes sure to snag both 2-second freezers here. Out of the tunnel, he boosts to ensure he takes this freezer. The rest of the course is straightforward. There's enough time to spot each incoming freezer during the lava bridge, into the jungle, and throughout the temple. He points to the middle during the gap jump, though, ensuring a 10-second bonus. The final portion of the race allows Jak to follow another path of freezers with a boost over the water ramps into a final 10-seconder. 33.85 is your Freeze Rally lap to beat. The nitro's burning and Jak is away. He's keeping quite tight on this corner, aiming for turbo pickups and the boost pad. He's following the undulations of the road without severe turns to keep that racing line. Great work. Sometimes it's quicker to stay on the racing line and run out of boost. Into the tunnel, he catches all the boosts he can. Then over the gap. He's taking turbo pickups in this next section. Not the boost pads, it's a better racing line. Onto the bridge, lining up for the right side turbo, and he's through the waterfall, landing to catch the corner of a boost pad. Into the circular bridge, he's staying low on the inside, using the yellow ground chevrons as guidance. On the final part of the turn, he's swinging out. He's power sliding. What a move! Straight into the tunnel without the need of a boost pad, and he's lining up for another pickup. Now this ending is tricky, let's see. Well, he's lined up for the bank turn, skidding right and boosting out onto each pad, across the line in 1:48.09. It's a new lap record. Jak performed amazingly during the freeze rally, keeping left on all the initial freezer pickups. He didn't head right here, as there's more time to save staying left. He made sure to snag this 5-second freezer, though. Then stayed right for another. Once over the gap, he kept a good racing line, but maneuvered right under this bridge, then stayed in the middle to swerve quickly for freezers on either side. Approaching the waterfall gap, either side provided the same time savings, but once in the tunnel, he made sure to grab that 10-second freezer. Then swung left onto the circular bridge for a 5-seconder. He kept low during the circular descent, starting a power slide after grabbing this 5-second freezer. Out of the tunnel, either 10-second freezer is available. Despite an argument with a wall, he still romped home with a lap time of 15.81. He's off. He's hugging the left wall and positioning in the tunnel entrance, shooting through those fearsome corners with ease. Pointing right, boosting up the steps, and facing the corridor to come. This really is great driving skill here. Look at that turn. He slowed, then spun around to point up the steps. Then he's shooting straight for the bridge. Now in the rocky valley, he's easing off the turbo to stay in control. Then it's a well-controlled boost around this valley floor to the ocean. He's taken the right path. It's shorter, and Jak can cut in on the right side before the arch. He's not slowing down. Did you see that short power slide going into the temple? Outstanding! Now he can use turbo to point that vehicle left, saving time. Ah, what a great right turn there. Whoa, I spoke too soon. His wheel guard's gone, but he's across this gap easily and boosts to the finish. That time of 1:17.76 is going to take some beating. After a clean start, Jak's freeze rally involved keeping left into the tunnel, then ensuring a spectacular lap time. He shattered both 10-second freezers on the way out. With this extra time, he could afford to take his time at the stepped exit. Once in the valley, he smashed 2 freezers here, went for the 5 on the banked turn, then snagged both 5-second freezers to ensure a low lap record. Once at the temple, Jak aimed for the 2, then the 10-second freezer on the way in. With some much accumulated time, he could miss the hovering 10-second pickup on the way out and still complete a lap in 6.87 seconds. Don't blink or you'll miss this. Look at that extra slippery left skid. He's staying close to the ice pond, but isn't falling in it. A great skid into the tunnel, using the wall to bump him back on track, then a boost at almost illegal speeds around to the finish. Wait, are we done? Yes, that's 1 lap. There's 3 total laps in time trial, so try for 22 seconds on each. And you'll finish up with a lap time of 1:04.34. What a rush! Jak's taking the 10 freezer on the left, then grabbing as many 2-second freezers as he can. There's 3 laps, so leave some for later. Even after missing a couple of freezers, it's still possible to complete a lap in an astounding 1.01 seconds. That's sheer lunacy. Jak's taking the first corner easy, making sure he's picking up turbos. It looks like, yes, he's gone left so he can make a quick exit. He's out now and boosting over that crevasse. Great hang time. He's keeping left again. He's now boosting across the icy streams. Then he stays right. He's not making any sudden turns to stay in control. He's keeping on the inside throughout this tunnel and sliding through these severe right and left turns with ease. The road's a little easier now, and he's keeping that turbo bar topped up. Into the ice cavern with no problems. He's cunningly taken the inside left turn to avoid the longer bank turn on the right. He's burning through this ice cavern, but watch that left turn. Oh, okay, he's recovered and avoided the icy plunge on the left. He's not slowing down, taking an easy path through the remainder of the cavern. He's out on the glacier exterior now. Wow, that's how you fly across a chasm. It's a well-timed power slide to the finish with a time of 2:22.17. Welcome to Glacier Alley Freeze Rally Highlights. Jak kept to the same route as the time trial. He stayed left as the road split to grab this 10-second freezer. After the chasm jump, he made sure to hit this 5-second pickup, then kept left. During the ice stream boosts, he aimed for this 10-second freezer. At the village corner, he smashed the 5-second pickup, then remained focused on picking up turbos and 2-second freezers. Reached the White Arch, he took the right 10-second pickup. He remained low during the ice cavern bank turn. Once out of the cavern, he maneuvered right and took this 5-second freezer. A moment later, he swung left for this 5-second pickup, then boosted through a few more 10-second freezers to the finish. This was a 33-second lap. He shaved almost 2 minutes by picking up freezers. That's a great start, and Jak's keeping on the inside right for the first turn. Yes, he's made it through those sharp building corners with a great racing line. He's bouncing across this courtyard like a madman, staying in control and aiming up those steps with skill. He's using the exterior wall to bump against, keeping his speed up, and he's into the tunnel. He's keeping that speed up without losing control into the red-lit overhang. And slams through into the shantytown. Jak's using those buildings to bash into and boosting around every corner. Now he's slowing here to make this tight right turn, and he's away. Amazing! That's an awesome power slide to finish the shantytown run. Into the red tunnel now. And he's keeping low on those bank turns. He cuts left into a courtyard, then points right and flees down those steps so he can spin left and boost into another red tunnel. Boosting up those steps and across the road platform. Wow, what a superb 180-degree turn there. Whoa, he's gone flying. That's a perfect airborne racing line. Through the shortcut, he smashes those lights and turbos all the way to the finish in 218.34. Great run, Jak. The tenacity of Jak shows in his cunning route change here. So he grabs the 5-second freezer and boosts for the 10 just after. The route continues with constant 2-second pickups all the way into the shantytown. The first difficult freezer is at the sharp right turn. Once he reached the bank turns, Jak made sure to catch each freezer and the 5-second pickup at the courtyard. Shockingly, he missed this 5-second freezer, but it didn't affect his time. More important was this 10-second pickup. He boosted up the ramp steps for it. After taking the shortcut, Jak's lap time was 25.34 seconds. The boost is perfect, and Jak's racing along. Wait, he's heading for that wall. Whoa, shortcut! Did you see that landing? He bounced off the left wall and kept an amazing racing line. Whoa, a bit of bounce there, onto the snow. He's keeping on the inside during that rock cavern. Out into the open now. Wow, that's a massive snowball. He can't get hit too many more times or that vehicle will explode. Into the village now. He's using the icy ground to his advantage and power sliding left, then right. Under the portcullis, he's lining up for the bank turn. Yes, he's going low. He's grabbing turbos across the courtyard and up those steps. Oh, great airborne left turn to set up for the final dash. He's grabbing all the pickups he needs and finishes in 1:28.05. That's going to take some beating. Jak took the shortcut and saved himself 15 seconds. then headed left to grab another 10-second pickup. This freeze rally was going well. He cunningly boosted up the left snowbank and up the subsequent one to avoid snowballs and collect even more freezers. The action continued, and once inside the Citadel, Jak headed left on the inside bank turn. He made sure not to miss the 5-second pickup across from the ramp steps. After a final 10-second freezer, Jak finished with a more than respectable lap time of 15.06. This is a fast lap. Jak staying on the inside left of this turn, taking the pickup and out on the right side, and keeping a stunning racing line while boosting through these two corners. What a great 180. There's another. Man, this is a fast lap. He's gone left, and is he? Yes, he's got a perfect line through this shortcut and the winding finish road. A lap time of 43.79 is incredible. The freeze rally was so fast, Jak almost went back in time. Notice how he's weaving a little more to grab all the freezers here, then heads wide for the 5. He's watching the inside turn after the first 180 for another 5-second freezer and forgets the power slide to ensure another 5 pickup is grabbed. He skims the left platform for another 5-seconder, then heads right as there's more pickups this way. This includes a 5-second pickup here. He's over the line in 1.30 seconds. Wow! And he keeps this time static for the remaining lap for a truly unbelievable final time. Jak's taking the right turn wide and making easy work of the ramp over the dockyard. Landing on a turbo pickup and setting up the racing line immaculately. That's a perfect right turn. He's pointing left over the ramp. Wow, that's some speed there. Jak's aiming at the warehouse entrance as close to the right crates as possible. He's close to the crane base, then quickly past the train. Into the red tunnel, he's keeping the speed up and power slides straight out of there. That's a good racing line he's cutting through here, before a perfect finish and a time of 1:05.58. The freeze rally began with some 2-second freezer grabs, then Jak stayed to one side for the ramp jump. After landing, he maneuvered right to steal another 2-second pickup. He didn't forget this 5-seconder after the tight right turn either. Once through the warehouse, Jak grabbed this 5-second pickup. He made sure the 10-second freezer by the trains was his too, then grabbed both 2-second pickups before the red tunnel. Once out of the tunnel, he took both 2-second freezers here, before lining up for a trio of freezers at this gap. His lap time was 22.14 seconds. Jak is off like a bullet. He's taking that right turn sharply, and he's in that ice cavern. He's not falling into the ice lake on the left, and staying on the bank turn. He's picking up turbos and continuing at a fast pace. Boosting out on the glacier exterior now and approaching the chasm. What a great landing! The course curves left, he's staying on the inside. The town's approaching, Jak's ignoring the scenery and snatching all the pickups he can. on the left at Snowball Alley sure pays off. A final controlled skid and a lap time of 1:24.56 is made. Jak's Freeze Rally highlights included an easy snake through the ice cavern, taking the lower 2-second pickup here, and the 5-seconder just afterwards. Jak stayed right on the bridge to ensure he took the 5-second freezer. Then he boosted for the 10 on the chasm, then slowed in midair to ensure he grabbed the 5 too. He stayed low on the bank left turn for another 5. After an easy town tour, Jak darted right to snag this 10-second pickup. Missed the snowballs and snagged one of the 2 5s on the final bridge. That's a lap time of 14.53. Great driving.
One lap finish.
That's a long left corner, but he's not got the speed to power slide. Until this 180 turn into the water pools. He's up the ramp and into the water. He's keeping right and grabbing a turbo here. The road split, and he's taken the left path. It's quicker. Then a long right turn. He's keeping that speed up. He's well into the ruins, and despite the bumps, he's boosting like mad. Oh, that's a great weave through this stone pathway. He's caught the left ramp here. And keeps his cool at this long right corner. A quick switch left, following the racing line through and out of the lava caverns. He's gone left and executed a couple of great skidding left turns. Into the lava lake now. Well, not into, but as close to the inside as possible. Then it's a straight boost and slight left turn to victory, and a time of 1:34.35. Jak made sure his freeze rally impressed the crowds by grabbing this 5-second pickup at the right turn. Then skidded right to ensure the next 5-seconder over the ramp was his. Then came an easy 10 and a sharp left turn for a 5 on the left ramp. Progress continued normally until this split, where Jak maneuvered right through the 10-second freezer. He didn't forget the 5 in the tunnel either. On the exterior ramped platforms, he skidded right for the 10 and stayed in the middle of the ramps for a 5, then left for a 10. In a columned cavern, he stayed right for this 5, bounced left for the next one, and stayed in the middle for the next 5. Jak boosted into the lava cavern, grabbing a 5, remaining high for another, and headed straight into a final 10 pickup. No wonder his lap time was 4.31 seconds. That's a quick left turn. He's sailing over that ramp. He's pointing at the warehouse entrance, keeping as close to the right side as he can. Skidding next to the crane base and darts between both the trains. He's into the red tunnel and keeping that speed at maximum for as long as he can. And he's out onto the giant banked roadway. He's close to the left side for these turns, saving time. He's moving right, taking that corner well. He's still hugging the left wall and catching a boost pad. He's used another pad. This is going to be a great time. the tight corners now. Oh, that's an excellent racing line. Now into the final tunnel. He's skidding right and boosting across to an airborne finish and a time of 1:35.37. The Freeze Rally racing line changed at the warehouse entrance, where Jak went for this 5-second pickup, with a 10 just after. Then came a fearsome buffeting between two trains for a 10-second freezer. He stayed right, entering the red tunnel for the 5. This continued again at the exit. For most of the banked roadway, Jak simply aimed for the closest 2-second freezer until this point, where he kept right for the 5. Then swung outside on the next 2 turns to ensure more freezers were his. After another 2 5s here, Jak entered the final tunnel. After a right side 5 before the ramp, the lap was over in 13.96 seconds. Jak is off. He's swinging right into the winding tunnel. Now that's a power slide. He's keeping tight on those turns and drops down into the sewer. He's predicting that corner well. Up the ramp. Then down to another ramped area. See how he's tapping the turbo out of every turn? He's keeping right here for speed and a great racing line. Boosting out into a giant curved road. That's the halfway mark. Now he's heading left. This is treacherous ground, but he's keeping the vehicle steady and boosting across the water. He's taken the left side at the next waterway and boosted over that hole with a great racing line. Whoa, what a recovery. Now a tight left boost to the finish in 1:32.97. Jak took to the upper area at the start of these Freeze Rally highlights, then strove to control his vehicle in the extreme turns of the tunnel. He grabbed one of the 10-second pickups into the water. At the second dip, he headed left to secure a 5-second freezer. He remained on the upper right wall at the halfway point. At the second sewer drop, Jak managed to line up for the ramp and a 10-second freezer. The lap was completed in 49.23 seconds. He's off like a shot into Spargus City, staying left at the junction and keeping an extremely straight line through here. This is an impressive power slide out of the tunnel, and he's lined up for the drop. He's taking the bridge. He's off without hitting anything. Insane! He's making short work of these corners and skidding around this bend and setting up for a 180 right. Whoa, that's a massive boost. He's under the rickety bridge, keeping the speed up. Nearly lost it there, but he's into the covered bridge, weaving left to right. Another strong power slide. Oh, superb right drift there. Gotta watch this bumpy ground, but he's keeping it together, straightening out for a time of 1:25.67. Jak's Freeze Rally started well, with 4 2-second pickups grabbed in a great racing line. The racing line changed just after the drop, where Jak aimed for a couple of 2-second freezers, then a 5 under the wooden bridge, and finally one of 2 10s at the left turn. After the 180 right, Jak stayed low to save time and took a 10-second pickup. Jak demonstrated his maneuvering skill on the covered bridge, where 2 5s and 2 2s were smashed. On the bumpy descent, Jak stayed in the middle to ensure he took the last 5 and 10 pickup of the lap, finishing with a time of 9.85 seconds. That's a perfect start, and Jak's taking this long right turn very well. Staying on the inside, and he's airborne. He's keeping tight on the right turn inside this ice cavern. He doesn't want to fall off the edge. He's out and onto the bridge. That's an excellent drift. And he's into the cavern, using the ground on the right side as a shortcut. He's out, keeping his speed up as he passes under that archway. Through a small tunnel now. And the action is to aim for turbo pickups on the racing line. Into the village for a power slide right. Now there's another to reach the castle wall. Jak is through the portcullis and he's ready to choose a banked path. He's going left. And he's taking the right arch exit. He's out of the Citadel, sliding to the exit in a time of 1:49.13 seconds. Superb. Jak's freeze rally had him banking along the top of the initial right turn to line up for this 10-second pickup. He stayed left in the cavern for a 5, then right for another. He moved right at the cavern entrance for another 5, but he maneuvered to the far left for this easily missed 10-second freezer. Jak kept to the right for this 10-second pickup, followed by a 5. He managed to swerve left for a 5 here. He aimed for another just after the village. Jak kept right and wide at the portcullis to ensure he swiped a 10. He kept to the upper curved bank, even though he didn't need this 5, but moved left to take a second one before the finish. And a lap time of 5.90 seconds. That's a perfect left slide, followed by, wow, a sensational right turn and boost. He's keeping the racing line through these curves and keeps it tight on these corners. What a great weave avoiding the curb there. Up and over the ramp. He's keeping it tight here, and that's another great corner. Past the crane, this is an absolutely faultless lap. He's boosting onto the larger roadway now, keeping close to each and every corner. Oh, that's an outstanding right drift. Into the town now, and wow, he's missing those buildings by inches. And again. That is an amazing time of 1:22.41. Jak kept to the left on this turn for the added reward. then kept aiming for 2-second freezers until he smashed this 5-seconder here. He aimed directly at the floating 10 pickup over the ramp, then skidded for 2 5-second pickups immediately afterwards. Ignoring the next 5-second pickup, he instead boosted up this angled road to another 5. At this corner, he went wide to grab this 10-seconder. On the banked roadway, he kept right to snag multiple 2 pickups. On the town approach, he smashed a 5 on the left and 1 on the platform before boosting through more 2-second freezers to the finish. Time was an impressive 9.5 seconds. This is a highly difficult course, but Jak is dealing with the bumps like a real pro. He's in the middle, away from the bumps, and flies across, using the wall to steady him. He's avoiding those pipes in the main conduit and skids left, wrestling around those uphill corners. Downhill now, past the columns, and the wall again stops him. He's out of that maze, boosting like a maniac. Until this corner, and takes a sharp right turn with amazing precision. Oh, he nearly lost it there, but he's recovered and is twisting through these turns with incredible skill. Look at that. Out of the red tunnel, he's keeping low on the banked turns. Across the courtyard and turns right early to avoid disappointment. An insane slide right into the tunnel. And a demented 180 to finish in 150.04 seconds. The initial bumps of the freeze rally played havoc with Jak's steering, but he managed to secure this 5-second freezer. He spied another high on the right here, then headed down and left for 2 regular freezers. He made sure to aim for this 5 at the top of the winding tunnel, then headed left for another. After a inspired entrance into town, Jak grabbed all the 2 freezers he could muster. He aimed for this 5-seconder after the sharp right step turn. And finally scraped across the line in 1:03.67. That's a fine start for Jak as he boosts through the Temple roadway. Then a long right turn. He's keeping that speed up. He's well into the ruins, and despite the bumps, he's boosting like mad. He's kept on the right of this 2-lane pathway. He's staying between the ramps here, and he's grabbed boost afterwards. Now comes a lengthy road through a cavern and into another corridor. There's no signs of him slowing down. A quick left turn and another long corridor to zoom down. That's a good-looking corner and more boosting across the gap. Daylight streaming through the roof vents. That must mean, yes, he's into the giant cavern. He's keeping close to the left wall on that slide, and he's out. He's tearing through Spargus City into a long straight tunnel. No problem so far, and he's out. quick couple of bounces under that bridge. Almost a wall scrape there. Oh, this is textbook racing here. Boosting to this bend and sailing around it. Great stuff. What a 180 turn. He's under the wooden bridge and still isn't slowing down. Fatigue must be taking its toll, but he's kept it together over the exposed bridge, and hang on, that's some wild power sliding there, Jak. Whoa, careful. Oh, what a great recovery. Jak's skimming across the sand. He's obviously memorized this course. He's into another tunnel now. And he's entering the rocky roadway with sandstone walls on each side. Jak's maintaining an incredible top speed through the bumps in the sand. He's entering a shadowy crevasse now. He's now tearing past the dead trees. And he's taking the right path around, under the fallen building, and towards the final part of this tour. That's another fine power slide as he enters the mines. He's out with barely a dent across the wooden bridge. Oh, yet another great slide, and he's boosting out of it. No, it's a disaster. He's going to have to make up some time now. Boiling after that mistake, and he's making up for it. Watch out, Jak. No, he landed it. Unbelievable. He's missed the low road. But he's still got an incredible lap time as he heads over the bridge for a lap of 4:18.54 seconds. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's time for a nap. The light's green, and he's off. He's on the bridge and stopping that boost to recover from the bounce. A great left slide there. And oh, superb slide. He's skidding right, taking the right path by the beach. Staying on the right side grass. Excellent racing line under the arch. The competence continues at the jungle entrance. He's keeping it together. Full speed ahead, into the temple, into the corner. Ouch, that's going to need a new coat of paint. Oh, now that's an impressive corner right there. And he's out and down. Steady, Jak. He almost lost it there for a moment, but he's in and out of that tunnel. That's the fastest I've ever seen those corners taken. He's on the ramp stone now. And no, caught on the rocks. He's not happy about that. He's boosting carefully and turning in the air, setting up for the next part of the route. Around the uphill corner and around. He's heading past the towers, down through the tunnel, and up the other side. An airborne boost. And a swerve into the red-lit overhang. He's entered the shantytown. Jak staying in the middle of the road, using buildings to slam into only when necessary, and boosting around every corner. Now he's slowing here to make this tight right turn, and he's away. Amazing! He's hit the building and isn't able to power slide, but he's still through the shantytown in record time. Into the red tunnel now. And he's keeping low on those bank turns. He cuts left into a courtyard with a bit of a wobble, then drops down those steps. He's attempting to spin left and boost into another red tunnel. Oops, he caught the side. That's going to make him furious, so he's boosting like mad through here. Now he's let off the gas on this corner to avoid the bumps at high speed. Oh no, he's lost it. He's lost control. What a nightmare. But that's a great recovery though, and he's heading for the main cylindrical tunnel. He's moving right, up and out. Going for 180. Oops, no. That was impressive. Now he's swerving violently down this tunnel. A quick power slide into the water, at least I hope it's water, and up the incline on the other side. That's some aggressive boosting. Oh, he just missed a perfect line on that corner. With nothing to lose, he's burning all that boost up quickly and heads over the line in 4:19.50. He's off and tearing along this snowfield, staying left and taking boosts every time. Slowing for this corner now. Now that's a great power slide, setting himself up for the second bridge. He's into the cavern, twisting, turning, and yes, he's coming up to the bank turn. He's wisely staying away from the drop on the left. He's out and picking up speed under the viaduct. And keeping it together through this narrow series of caverns. He's out and onto the bridge. Oh, that's a great slide there. Keep it together, Jak. And he's up, and he's landed. He's continuing at maximum velocity, skidding around this left turn. And down into this ice valley. He's got to make a decision. And yes, he's taking the left road and collecting more and more boosts. Out into the run up to the giant gap, and he's sailing over. Good landing and keeping left there. He's now boosting across the icy streams. Then he stays right. He's not making any sudden turns, or he may end up in a wall. A quick slide into a small encampment on the outskirts of the Citadel. He's got that racing line straight, a superb slide there, and through and under the portcullis. Lining up for the bank turn. Yes, as expected, he's going low. that vehicle across the courtyard and up those steps. Ah, great airborne left turn to set up for the next set of steps. He's continuing at speed through this series of courtyards, staying steady. Entering the Citadel Arch now. He's aiming for that small gap in the wall. A quick touch of boost, and over he goes. That's going to cut some time out. He's out of the Citadel and into the snowy road, hurtling toward that cavern entrance, keeping it straight and finding more boost pickups until the victory line. He's over in 337.05. Nice work, Jak. He's away. He's already building up an incredible speed through the rotating tunnel. He's out and lining up not only for the gap, but the boost pickups on the other side. He's got them. He's swinging on the inside of these two twisting turns, staying completely on the racing line. Round the corner and under that bridge. That's excellent drifting. Notice how he's next to the yellow markings on the right to maneuver through this section as quickly as possible. He's coming up to the waterfall, and he's through. Weaving expertly to the end of the tunnel. He's on the giant circular roadway spiral now, grabbing a turbo and staying close on the inside. This is how it's done, folks. He's darted for a boost, then back on the inside. That's a good power slide to finish and under the previous road. And out into the open. He's aiming for a tight racing line, and did you see that? You can't get much more direct than that. Incredible. Now a boost down the straight. There's a left turn up ahead, and he's boosting while sliding left. He's on that boost pad, then crosses to the right. He's ignoring the road markings and instead focusing on the turns and getting in on the inside. Superb work there. He's under the bridge at speed, aiming for the red tunnel. Look there, that's another fine cornering technique. He's up and over and into the docks. He's boosting down the short ramp. There's some nice tight turns there. He's on the windmill roadway with the banked corners, but he's ignoring the scenery. He's taking those corners a little sharply, but it's still incredibly fast. He's up the rise and makes an excellent left skid into town. Oh no, he's lost it. Man down. No, he saved himself here with a boost. Through the two building corners, nicely there. He's across the bridge, coming up to a turn. Excellent work on this corner, followed by a fantastic slide right. There's more wide roads to negotiate here. He's heading for the left corner now. Keep that speed up, Jak. Nicely avoided the curb there, and a boost toward the jump. He's airborne. A difficult left and right turn coming up, but not for Jak. That's great driving. Across the line in 318.47. Look around this beachside paradise reveals its deathmatch winning dark side. You can jump off the upper steel platforms to surprise enemies and also descend from the lower wooden ramps. When you're flying between the island platforms, be sure to avoid the deep water between them. Employ the turbos and jump jets to ensure you don't get stuck. remember to look for several pickups underneath the platforms, mostly Blue Eco. Falling into the deep water doesn't destroy you. You're reset on the track with the same amount of health, but it does slow you down while you wait to be reset. Destroy the wooden fence near the waterfall, then jump across for a shortcut that leads to a green eco pickup. Hang out near this area as much as possible during deathmatch events. Other green eco pickups are found atop the atolls in the middle of the arena, and also floating between the grassy ledges. Use your turbos and jump jets to cross the gaps between these ledges. The use of turbos and jump jets is encouraged to launch off the hillsides and sail across the arena, flying high overhead. Falling into the water doesn't hurt. You are reset with the same health, so try falling into water when you're being chased by enemies. Use turbos and jump jets to leap off ledges, marked by twin fire posts, and reach distant ledges and tunnels below. There's narrow tunnels with several jumps along the outside edge of the arena, a good place to run through when you're being chased. Notice all of the jumping attempts, which show how you can move between the different ledges. Be sure you practice these jumps, as they require pinpoint timing. Let's off-road. Firstly, learn your pickup locations. A green eco pickup is located near the end of the stream. Red and yellow eco pickups are found under the central arch formation. And there's another green eco on top of the arch. Another green eco is hidden behind the collection of boulders at one corner of the arena. Use turbos and jump jets to sail off the hills and across the arena high overhead. Although a mud-filled arena, the giant underground tunnels feature 2 of each eco pickup. These are great places to reach. The elevated central mound also features all types of pickups. Use turbos and jump jets to clear the gap between the large ramps and nab the green eco that hovers between them. Turbo up the curved outside walls to reach the tops of the nearby arches. Perhaps you can camp there to attack enemies from a safe position. Pickups are also found under the outside arches. Time for a gigantic power slide. There are so many wide open spaces in this arena. You can turbo power slide indefinitely, which makes you a very difficult target to hit. You can also fire on your target as you do this, so it's a great tactic for assassin events, just like circle strafing. Give the cold shoulder to your enemies in the ice pit by using both of the levels in this arena. You can drive up outside walls to reach snowy ledges. There are tunnels below the narrow arched pathways. Use turbos and jump jets to soar off of snowy hills and fly high above the arena. There's a green eco near a group of trees out in the open. There's another one on top of one of the narrow arched pathways in the center of the arena, near the wooden bridge. You can sometimes turbo up the trees a little, which could help you escape enemies. ready to have a ball in this enclosed arena. Statues and stone railings in the environment are destroyable. The green eco in the center of the arena is the only one to be found. You can jump off the small humps in the lower portion of the arena. You can destroy the pillars at the bases of the huge statues along the arena's banked outer edge to reveal pits. Falling in doesn't kill you. You reset with the same health, but it slows you down. Still, the pits are good places to fall into when you're under heavy attack. Destroy the central pillars to reveal the arena's only green eco pickup. Then you can ram into the huge stone ball that falls and knock it around the arena, even though there's no real effect to doing this. You can drive sideways on the outer banked wall using turbos, which can help you escape enemies. You can turbo high up the outer walls with enough speed to momentarily avoid foes as well. You can speed along the outer embankment and collect red and yellow eco, then move into the center to attack enemies and grab the green eco. This is a large multi-tiered arena with lots of platforms, bridges, and tunnels. The long tunnel shortcuts about the arena feature green eco pickups. You can drive over the shallow water, but falling into the deeper water causes your vehicle to be reset on the track. A good way to escape attackers. Try doing a power slide into the water so you're reset with a full turbo meter. You can perform giant power slides at the wide open beach areas to fill your turbo meter and also to make yourself a hard target to hit. This is excellent for assassin events, as you can fire on your target while you power slide and he'll have trouble hitting you. You can turbo up the rocky walls at some parts to reach the higher tiers or to soar high above the arena. Good ways to shake off pursuers. There's another green eco pickup on a narrow strip of beach near the ocean. There are lots of sandy hills to launch off of, but this is for amusement rather than a tactical advantage.
Jak X Combat Racing really is the bringing together of all the best in vehicular action games. We wanted to capture the intense, insane action of an arcade racer.
With Jak X, we really wanted to get back to the grassroots of the series. We really wanted to look at the characters and explore in a bit more detail the kind of conflict and also the strengths and the relationships between them.
Working on the Jak and Daxter trilogy, we wanted to make that new game that about racing and combat.
Jak X Combat Racing is just a super speed, high speed, intense combat racing game where you're basically playing characters that you've played before in the Jak universe, but now you're in these incredible vehicles, these customizable vehicles with basically a full rigid body physics system that allows you to get in there and race on a world, places you've been before, plus new places you've never seen. It's all part of the Jak universe.
We also wanted to allow the player to customize and personalize the vehicles like you'd see in a racing sim. And then we wanted to tie that all up in the Jak and Daxter universe and tell a really great Jak and Daxter story.
The story takes place mainly in Kras City, which is the new city where it's a mix between Monaco and Vegas, where people gamble, and there's a lot of people gamble on those races where Jak and Daxter have to participate to save their life.
So Jak X sort of sits on the side. It's a side story. It's not a continuation of the trilogy, obviously, but it's a storyline which is focusing more on Jak's struggle amongst his friends and not really about saving the world.
We cooked up this wild story where Jak and Daxter get invited to the reading of Cru's will, and get surreptitiously poisoned by him and coerced into taking part in a combat racing championship, which is this insane, very dangerous, very high-speed racing sport that's very popular in Jak's world.
Racing is probably one of my favorite, and certainly is one of Naughty Dog's favorite genres. And if you look back on the Jak series, and Jak has always been about racing. From the very beginning of Jak and Daxter, when we had the Zoomer, we always talked about him being in a racing world. He always had the goggles, if you remember, from his character design right from the beginning. He is a racing guy, and people kept telling us, you've got to make this a full game. This is a game in itself. And so we said, what if we just took all of our energy, all of Naughty Dog's focus, and put it on a game that was all about racing for 1 year? Let's see what we can do. And Jak X is that result.
What I like about Jak X Combat Racing is the way that you can customize the vehicles, and you can really get in there and tweak and tune both the visuals and the performance of the car to your liking. So when you're out there on the track, it's really your vehicle is your signature. And when you go online and race against your friends or your opponents, they'll really start to recognize you based on the vehicle that you're driving.
And we wanted to have a very good simulation. The physics, we wanted to have really good reaction for the vehicles, but we also wanted to add all the weapons. I mean, we had weapons on Jak 3 for Jak, and we wanted just to prove that the more you use that weapon, then you can upgrade it. And if you use it well, you get to the second level, and it's more powerful.
For weapons, I mean, I love having, when I'm Dark Jak powered up with full missiles, and I'm just coming in at full speed, just flailing away with missiles everywhere. It's just like rolling thunder, basically.
But we really hadn't ever focused a full game's worth of attention on vehicles and racing, so that's what Jak X is.
So in Jak 3, we had a lot of these kinds of arena events, which were really great fun. We all really loved them. And we leapt at the opportunity to take those single-player events and turn them into multiplayer events.
I think my favorite part of Jak X Combat Racing is probably the fact that you can play online with your friends. I love to play team games. I think it's really fun. It's really cool.
We allow 6 players to race against each other at the same time. You can wear a headset so that you can have an open channel and talk to all those people out there. We have a lobby which is fully featured with clans and buddies. So, we're really trying to make it a very rich online experience.
I think one of my favorite tracks is the Deathdrome. It's kind of one of the simpler tracks in the game. It's kind of this looping, spiraling track. It takes place over the sea near Kras City, and it's littered with these turbo boost pads. So if you plan your race line just right, you can really achieve some incredible speeds as you zoom from boost pad to boost pad. And it's also a great place to sneak up on your friends and give them a quick bunch of grenades up the tailpipe.
My favorite racetrack is probably the Forbidden Jungle. I really like it just for the lushness and the way that it really looks like no other racing game out there. I mean, you really don't have too many games that allow you to race through the amount of variety that Jak X Combat Racing allows you to.
Favorites, there's a lot of things about Jak X that are my favorite, but just for circuit race, for instance, my favorite is the Kras City circuit race. Mainly because it is so tight in there with those 90-degree turns and those blind alleys that you have to really get on your power slide. You have to learn to power slide very quickly, and you have to still turbo even where you don't want to turbo. Where you feel like you shouldn't turbo, you still got to turbo a lot of times and get into those tight corners and just do the power slides at 90 degrees. So that's a lot of fun.
I think Jak X has been the most fun game that we've worked on at Naughty Dog to date. We really actually sometimes run into trouble because people are playing the game instead of working on it.
lead designer on Jak X Combat Racing, and I'm here to give you a quick lightning tour of the Naughty Dog studios here in sunny Santa Monica in Southern California. So, without further ado, let's go and take a look around the office. Here we are in our high-tech conference room. As you can see, it's all been designed in the signature Naughty Dog colours of red, white, grey and black, and it's very cool. We've got all these flat panel televisions, high-definition televisions that we often get a little game on in the middle of the night, and a nice big conference table. It's all very open plan, as you can see, but one of the coolest things about it is these steel shutters. It says stand clear. At a moment's notice, they can slam down, transforming this space either into a very nice, luxurious, high-tech executive conference room, or alternatively trapping the unwilling victims inside and releasing clouds of poison gas. Come this way. So here we are on our way to the design office. As you can see, we've got these excellent office walls, which lets us use push pins to stick up all this awesome concept art. You can see a lot of stuff here for Jak 3. There's more Jak 3 stuff here. And here's the concept art that kind of became the genesis of the idea for Jak X Combat Racing. Here you can see an awesome wall full of character concept art. There's a lot of characters in the game who you'll meet in the course of the movies and the gameplay, and some old friends like Ashlyn, Kira, Jak and Daxter, of course. The boys are back in town once again, and then also some new characters like Rain. She's the daughter of Crew from Jak 2, who's back from beyond the grave, causing trouble once more. And here's GT Blitz. He's the race commentator, who I personally think is up to no good, but keep your eye on him. My personal favourite new character in the game, UR86, the Crimson Drive Bot with a heart of steel. We've got Hugo here. Hugo's a graduate of Art Center in Pasadena, and he actually studied automobile design. And he's the guy who's responsible for all these incredibly detailed car concepts that we have. And these are the things that turned into the vehicles that you drive in the game. He worked day and night to not only hook up these amazing chassis for the cars, but also like 5 different sets of fully configurable body parts for each and every car. You can mix and match them, and it adds up to an amazing variety of configurable car experience for your driving pleasure. Since here is Mr. Hirokazu Yasuhara. He's our first port of call on our tour of the office today. Yas is a veteran of the games industry. He's a guy who I'm extremely proud to work alongside. Yas worked on many of the original Sonic the Hedgehog games, and we're very privileged to have him here at the studio, generating game design for us. How are you doing, Yas? Say hello.
Okay, yeah, say hello.
Awesome. So Yas, can you show us a little bit about how you go about designing both the gameplay of a Jak game and also some of the levels? Why don't we just have a quick look at some of your maps over here?
All right. So mainly my work is building the levels. So I usually use a pen and a paper.
You can't go wrong with a trusty pencil and some squared paper. That's how many awesome video games have started. As well as being an amazing level designer, Yas is also an incredible creator of game mechanics. And these are what I like to call his Yasograms, all the little drawings that he does to illustrate all the gameplay concepts that he comes up with sitting here at his desk at Naughty Dog, which have done so great in populating the worlds of Jak 2 and Jak 3 and now Jak X Combat Racing with all the great gameplay that you guys love. Of the artists area here at Naughty Dog, and we're going to talk to one of our background artists, Mr. Eric Pangilinan. How's it going, Eric?
Hey, pretty good, Richard. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. So Eric's one of our awesome background artists. He's been with Naughty Dog for quite some time, yeah? Did you join in...
Probably 10 years. 10 years already.
Wow, and you still haven't escaped yet. So,
No, here for life.
So we just met with Yas Harasan, and we saw how he created the maps on paper. So Eric, you get one of these paper maps, and then can you tell us a little bit how you transform this into the finished artwork and geometry that we see in the game?
After we get the concept art from the concept artist and the art director, we go into Maya and we try to come up with a wireframe mesh to basically try to translate that design. We have the system where we use instances, which is like duplicating set pieces a number of times, and this makes the level more efficient in terms of frame rate and in terms of memory as well.
So we work very interactively, don't we? We got Yas's map, and you guys quickly make a mock-up of it so that we can test it and play it. And then we start to build the finished artwork. Can you tell us a little about how we're able to get the kind of amazing density and variety of geometry that we end up with in our Jak X levels, and indeed in all the Jak games?
Well, first we come up with a block world, which is a simplified form of the map, and we hand it back to the game designers where they test it out. And this is where we can predict where the problem spots are going to be and adjust for in terms of polygons and how much interest spots we can make. And then after we put all the detail in, we hand it over to the texture artists and the lighting artists where they add more of the designs and finer tune the look.
The amazing guys who are building the levels, texturing the levels. That's a really important stage of the process. The guys who paint the bitmaps that they then apply to the geometry to give it all the gorgeous texture detail that you enjoy in the games. And then once it's been through the hands of those very talented people, it comes to Herman and Toby. Now these guys are kind of new schooly for game artists in terms of their discipline. They're both lighting artists. So Toby, can you tell us a little bit about what you get up to on the project here?
Well, a couple of things that we do. Our main task is we light the background art, and then we also do place the real-time lights in the actual game itself. And although that sounds pretty simple, it involves quite a few different tasks. Well, on all of the Jak games, starting with Jak and Daxter, we have time of day. So if you sit still in the game, you can watch the day in a 24-minute period. It goes through the 24-hour day, so you'll see the light change and stuff. And then we have a special setup for that. And then also we have additional lighting, which is like fixed lighting for like street lights or fire, and a lot of some explosion effects. All involve various tasks to do with the lighting.
But I guess that the way that we're able to manipulate the palettes, is what lets us get the awesome time of day lighting, and then also some of the real-time and dynamic lighting that you were mentioning.
Yes. You mentioned the palettes. What we're able to do is store 8 different color palettes per vertex. So any vertex in our game has 8 different colors that can be on it at any given time. That's a simple explanation of what goes on. And what we do to make the time of day change is it actually blends between palettes, and then we have a program we have a mood table that programmatically alters the colors as the time of day changes.
But of course, as well as like what we call the backgrounds in the game, there are also all the objects in the game. And in a racing game like ours, one of the most important objects is the cars. Now, in a little while, we'll talk to the programmers about how they set the cars up and how they develop them through from Jak 3 into Jak X. But we're right here at the station of Mr. Rob Titus and his awesome collection of toys. What's your Rob? How's it going, man?
Hey, Rich.
How are you today?
I'm just swell.
You are, aren't you? As swell as ever.
I want this project to be over. What I'm showing here is my basic workflow, where I've got the frame of the car and the pieces of the car. I'm showing you a few of the pieces, stripping them away. You're able to do this in the game to completely customize your car. So if you wanted to have a car with no door, no fenders, no nothing, you could have that. Right now, that's what you would have, is just the basic frame of the car. And we've also got damage on all of the parts of our car.
So, Rob, what do you think was the most awesome thing that the non-car related thing that you built for the game?
It's got to be the helmets.
The helmets were quite a piece of work. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Well, we're still working on the helmets, actually, and we're going beta.
Actually, we shipped the game last week.
Yeah. No, those helmets have been a bit of a nightmare for memory issues and such a minuscule little thing, and it's becoming the biggest problem object in the entire game.
Okay, so now we've seen a lot of the elements on the art side that go into making the game. But of course, Naughty Dog's games are also famous for their stories. We love narrative, we love telling stories, we love great movies, we love fantasy and science fiction. And so we've always tried to jam-pack as much of that stuff as we possibly can to the games. And we love to knit it together as well with the gameplay in ways that create a really seamless experience for you, the player, who we are constantly in service of. Melod. So anyway, all of that serves as preamble to introducing you to Mr. Eric Baldwin. Eric's one of our awesome animators here on Jak X Combat Racing. How's it going, Eric?
It's going all right.
Good, that's what we like to hear. So Eric, can you tell us a little bit about how we create all the awesome cinematics that we jam into the Jak and Daxter games?
I will do the best I can. It starts off with the audio. Once the scripts have been written and the actors have been pulled into the studio, they record all their lines. All the lines get cut together into an audio clip that's going to be the duration of our cinematic. So the animator gets assigned their audio cue, and they sit there and they listen to it about 100 times. Have to catch every inflection, listen to every little thing that they're going to do with the characters.
Previously, Jak and Daxter movies have been real-time. They've been like running in the engine in real time, but now we are actually doing some rendering, yeah?
Yeah. One of the reasons that we could go ahead and change the way we're doing our renderings is because the game's not limited to the levels that we run from one place to the other in the old Jak series, so we can just load it up. We're racing in one level, and then maybe the next scene takes place somewhere else, so we want to be able to pull that up instantly. And so what the programmers here, the awesome programmers, developed a tool to let us work the same way we always did, and let the animations run in the game, but then capture each frame, and then we string it together into a movie.
So now we're approaching the programmer area, the hallowed halls, the very nerve center of Naughty Dog. This is where all the magic happens. Well, actually, there's magic happening all around us, but this is where it all comes together. The programmers, of course, are the software engineers. They're the guys who hook together everything that everyone else in the company makes to create the final, finished, interactive gameplay experience. We've got some of the best programmers. They've been captured from the wild all around the world, shipped in high-security crates here to Naughty Dog, and set to work creating Jak X Combat Racing and all the other awesome Jak titles that you know us for. Here's a little bit of Jak. Here's a little bit of Daxter. And here's a little bit of programmer action. Shh, be very quiet. We don't want to startle them. So here we're approaching the desk of the indigenous Benus Stragus. This is a rare breed of English programmer, actually. You probably noticed that I talk funny. Ben talks pretty funny as well. And Ben is very, very special indeed. As you can tell from his lovely stripy markings, he's one of the rarer breeds of gameplay programmers. Hello, Ben. How's it going, mate?
It's going good. How you doing?
Ben, can you tell us a little bit about what you've done on the project? You're not only the lead programmer of the project, yeah, but you're also our chief network engineer.
That's right. Actually, I'm co-lead.
Oh, fair play.
In addition to which, I'm primarily responsible for the network programming, which is basically all of the code that enables the PS2 to go online and compete against other players.
Can you tell us a little bit about all the exciting challenges, trials and tribulations that you faced while developing the network stuff?
Sure. Actually, one of the biggest challenges was that we were reusing an existing engine, but obviously the first Jak 3 games didn't have any concept of networking at all. So one of the biggest challenges there was integrating all of the network code into an engine that really wasn't designed for it. One of the decisions that we made fairly early on, which I think has paid off pretty well, was that we wanted to make everything that was available in the offline mode also available online, which makes the game a lot more difficult to write. But, at the end of the day, the rewards are obvious.
So here you are, you're testing out a little bit of the online game. We've got quite a lot in the way of online features, haven't we?
Yes, we do. In addition to, as I said before, all of the offline game modes being available online, we also have all of the standard features, the sort of clans, buddy lists, chat, etc., etc. One of the other nice features, headset chat as well, of course. One of the other nice features, I think, is the time trial stuff. If you're playing online in a time trial event and you happen to beat the current best time, all your ghost data gets saved to the servers so that the rest of the people playing Jak X can then compete against you.
And that is a really awesome feature. I think that's the one that's tearing up the animation department at the moment. There are some blood rivalries going on over there as people try and overwrite each other's ghost cars racing around the tracks. Awesome. Well, thanks very much for a little look around the world of networking and lead programming in Jak X, Ben.
You're welcome.
So here we are in another part of the programming area, and we're going to meet Mr. Chris Christensen. Now, Chris was the man who programmed up the physics for the cars in Jak 3, and so obviously he's a really important guy for us. Hello, Chris. How's it going?
Oh, good.
Excellent. So, Chris, can you tell us a little bit about how you developed the cars, first of all, for Jak 3, and then what kinds of changes and differences you had to make them work in Jak X?
Well, it's kind of interesting because this whole physics thing kind of came out of some experiments I was doing for the first Jak and Daxter game for creating the platforms that players wanted some nice bobbly platforms that Jak could jump onto and kind of have them move around. So I developed like a rudimentary physics for that, and then it sort of evolved from Jak 1 to Jak 2 to the vehicles that would fly around. And then for Jak 3 we wanted vehicles that had wheels because we thought it would be an interesting addition to tool around in the desert and Dune buggy type physics. So it's been like an incremental approach, just kind of tacking on new stuff each time.
Don't we switch out the texture maps on the body parts as well to make the parts look all kind of dinged up?
Yes, I believe there is a texture that gets blended into for that, so that as they get scraped up, and we also make the parts like start to loosen, like as the car starts taking damage before it actually blows up, the parts can kind of come loose a little bit and rattle.
I think that's one of my favorite parts, actually.
And then they can fly off and kind of tumble around and so forth.
Can you tell us some of your favorite bits about the body part systems, or perhaps some of your least favorite things, some things that have given you a little bit of trouble in working out the bugs?
That's a good question. A lot of the parts are kind of designed without too much thought about how it's all going to work together, and some of them are very wacky, and it's like there's a lot of implications. Like we have Daxter sitting on some of the parts, and so it's kind of a nightmare to try and make sure that he always has a place to stand when no matter what's going on with the car, because he may be standing on a particular body part and then you get hit by a rocket or something, that part's gone, and now Daxter has to figure out where on the car to jump, and he has to deal with every possible combination of parts.
And these are the kind of things, guys, that game programmers typically go quite insane trying to figure out, yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of a nightmare sometimes.
here we are in the office of Mr. Charles DeLay. Charles is the head of our QA department. He keeps all of our in-house game testers on the straight and narrow, keeps them playing all day and all night. How's it going, Charles?
Not bad, Richard. How you doing?
Very well, thank you very much. It's a bit like a game show, really, isn't it? I can kind of lean on the thing and say, oh, so I see you're from Birmingham in the north of England.
No, I'm not, but I am from local, thank you.
He is quite local. I'll vouch for that. So, Charles, we are really lucky in that we've got, I think, one of the most awesome in-house QA departments I've ever seen on a game developer. Can you tell us a little bit about how it is from your point of view working with the development team to try and get the software as clean as possible?
Sure, I can do my best. Basically, I've been here for, about 2 years now in the development house testing. I've been in the business for about 10 years. Coming from a publishing house originally. So I've decided in my 2 years of being here that it's much better to be right here with the project, get things fixed quickly, not having to wait for the revs as long, that type of thing.
So it is indeed incredibly awesome having you guys right here in-house to be able to just walk over and talk to a program.
Yeah, it's without a doubt the best way to do it. Especially with the guys here, it's a great group of guys. I manage the team, but they do the hard work. They're the guys here doing it, and if they need anything done, they just pretty much go out there and get it fixed immediately. So.
And how do you typically go through the process of finding a bug and reporting it and then making sure that it gets fixed?
The typical process is get the new code out during the morning, test the game during the day, find any of the bugs that we have with the game, and immediately go to the programmers, artists, whoever it is who need to fix that bug. And document that particular bug so they can look at it back later, hopefully. That's the idea anyway. And, they'll fix it and then we'll regress it on the next rev when we get, hopefully, the next day.
Well, we've just spoken to Charles, who, wrangles the QA department. We should just run through here as quickly as we possibly can. Don't look back, whatever you do. Oh my God, look, they're burning discs. They're talking to programmers on the phone. There's gameplay going off left and right all around us. It's flipping insane. All right, Mikey, all customizing the car. Sweet. Look at these fellas down here. I think they're probably deathmatching together.
Oh man, this game's
like
great.
Yeah, almost.
Oh God, it was so much fun.
Oh, they're in paroxysms of gameplay joy. Awesome. Let's rock. So here we are with Mr. Taylor Kurosaki. He is a man of exceptional talents here at Naughty Dog. Taylor's got a lot of audio, visual and editing skills, and he really brings a lot of the more dramatic moments of the game to life. How you doing, Taylor?
Doing fine, Richard. Doing fine.
Very good. Can you tell us a little bit then about how you typically go about creating one of your amazing montages of action, drama, thrills and spills?
Well, I'm only as good as the ingredients that are given to me, first of all. I just go through and try to make something that's representative of the game that we're making. Try to bring out the drama, try to bring out the excitement, and ultimately try to make people excited about the game.
Awesome. So your stuff gets used a lot, doesn't it, in promotional campaigns? But you also cut together the really awesome intro scene. Can you tell us how that kind of came to life? I think there was a little bit of musical inspiration behind it, wasn't there?
Well, yeah. Knowing what the game was about, knowing what Kras City was about, and kind of the dastardly nature of the place, I wanted some music that was driving, that was aggressive, that was a little bit scary, and I'm a big fan of the band Queens of the Stone Age. So I'd been wanting to use their music in something I'd cut for a long time and never had the right opportunity. I kind of put it in temporarily just to give me something to cut to, because it had the right timing, it had the right energy and all that kind of stuff, with the full intention that we would replace it with something else down the road, something that we had scored. That's how they do movies normally. When you see a movie done, they will take scores from other movies and put it in there and then have someone kind of make their own version of it, so they have something to cut to.
And and I guess that was the thought for a while, wasn't it? That we'd take that Queen stuff, we'd switch it out for something else. But something happened in the interim, didn't it? I think we all fell in love, basically.
Yeah, I think that was it. It was like, how are we going to make anything that's better than this? So ultimately we stuck with it, and I'm happy.
Can you tell us a little bit then about all this cool kit that you have sitting in your cubicle here?
Oh, it's just a bunch of, computer screens and whatever. I mean...
I was talking about the lava lamp, actually.
Well, lava lamp is my, that's where I get my energy from. I just rub it and touch it and love on it a little bit, and then I'm ready to go.
So that's what you're doing late at night when I see you.
You're not supposed to know about that.
Yeah, sorry. Be our little secret. Here at Naughty Dog, we have these 3 special soundproof rooms, and these are where the audio engineers work. These are the guys who have full versions of the game and their development environments on their desks, and then they deal with all the incoming audio assets, and they create a lot of music and a lot of sound effects themselves, and then they work with the programmers to hook them up, and in a lot of cases they have tools that let them hook stuff up themselves. So let's see who we can find in here. So, Bruce, can you tell us a little bit about how you go from the first twinklings of an idea deep inside your fetid mind to the finished audio that we get in the Jak and Daxter games?
The way it works is inspiration. That's how all this stuff works. And in our case, the excellent artists and designers here at Naughty Dog come up with the concept. And we try and sort of internalize that and where they want to go with it. And hopefully, if you're creative at all, that'll suggest something. You can look at an object, and most of the time you kind of think to yourself, what is this supposed to sound like? What is this supposed to do? What's this behavior? And then it's just sort of a process of translating that initial concept into an actual audio sound.
Bruce, can you tell us a little bit about sound effects then? A little bit more about how we go about getting the game sounded up?
Well, as far as the process goes, again, it starts with whatever the game designers come up with, and every game has a lot of unique challenges sound-wise, because games can tend to have a lot of technical issues, and where you can pack a frame with all kinds of objects, there's space for each of those objects in the frame, but sound sort of spills out of every one of those objects, and so the sound has to be kind of a composite of that, and you have to be able to get the right elements in the game so that it doesn't just become a big bloody mess, really.
So, Pogo, you are one of the most important people here at Naughty Dog, aren't you? Can you... No, don't look in there. Can you tell us a few words about what you do here at Naughty Dog? And in terms of your overall creative contribution to the project, what would you say are some of the key things that you enjoy doing? Well, Pogo's in her usually chatty mood this afternoon. Here we are in the Naughty Dog kitchen. I'm stood next to one of the most important bits of technology in the entire development studio. That's our brand spanking new espresso machine. It's given us a lot of fuel for all the late nights it takes to create a game like Jak X Combat Racing. So we hope you've enjoyed this little behind-the-scenes tour of the studio, and we hope you enjoy Jak X. See you online. So here we are at the desk of Mr. Toby Tobler. He's one of our awesome lighting artists on Jak X Combat Racing. So Toby, tell us, what do you do?
Rich, I really don't know what it is I'm supposed to do here. Mostly I've been farming out most of my work to some high school students in South Dakota over the last 3 years.
Sound effects that later on go in-game. But that's phone. That's the sound of a phone. Excuse me. Oh, it's gone now. Anyway,
it's a sound effect.
It's a sound effect, yes. I made that happen. Anyway, this stuff.
So we really are in the intensive bug fixing phase of the project now, aren't we? What do you enjoy most about bug fixing, do you think, Ben? Yeah, well, I think that tells you everything. Receptive to that. She's a naughty dog.
Access granted.
Okay, move along, old man. You had me at hello, but you had to push it. What? That's me. Bye.